Okay, folks, trying to get an early morning run in with Lola to again purge some of the excess energy a young dog, especially Husky, has. So it's fortunate enough that I taught her the rough board, which is pretty much an electric scooter, and a bike works. A lot of different methods work of doing this. But we're going to sprint about a mile, mile and a half with her, and then I'm going to just do some trotting, get some quick mileage in. We might be doing a dog run this evening, so I'm not trying to burn her out, but I'm just trying to take the edge off of her. Okay, I'm checking in at almost a mile, 0.95. Did some pretty good sprinting. Lola, like most dogs, especially Huskies, gets excited when she sees other wild animals like squirrels, critters, whatever. And we've got to see a couple of those because it's still morning hours and they're trolling along, I guess. So that was kind of cool. Love to see her get those bursts of energy because they really help her realize and reach her maximum potential, which is important, especially doing that next to the wheel, the bike, the scooter, whatever the case may be, because that just helps her, and any dog that's doing it, reaffirm and build her confidence. So hey, running near this wheel turning or the bike, scooter, whatever, is just like running out in the field. I can go as fast as I want. I just got to stay straight, relatively speaking, and listen for the commands or move precisely with the bike. So there's a lot of give and take. I mean, she's on 2 tethers. I've explained this before. It's really not necessary at this point with her training, but I just do it for safety purposes, just because the other dogs aren't here, her pack, because we're getting ready to probably do a nighttime run, like I said, and I want to keep them fresh. She's still young and can do both. They could do both too, but with the heat and conditions, I don't want to push them. I want them to maximize their self tonight. They don't need this extra energy outlet. They're very comfortable where they're at because they've done it their whole lives. She needs it. She's just been adopted by me within the past couple months. The 2 tethers, one provides a harness tether. So dogs are known to sometimes back out of a harness, especially on an activity they're just starting and they're unfamiliar with. And when they get scared, when they see something exciting and they want to chase it, whatever. So harnesses are a wonderful tool, and we need them for most exercise activities where the dog's going to engage in running or pulling. But it is not escape proof, and a dog can get out of almost anything if they want to bad enough. But so what I do is I put a short tether there where I want her to remain the proper distance from the bike, the maximum distance. Then I put a really long one around her collar. So that really long one will almost never engage unless the harness, something would happen to it, she would slip out of it, or the tether would give for some reason, whatever. My other dogs are trained to free range, and she's pretty close to being let off leash, full free ranging activities, but she's not there yet. So if she would get off, she might not listen to a command as well as my other dogs, and there could be any kinds of danger ahead. So I have to make sure she cannot escape this vehicle. That doesn't mean she can't. If she stops, of course I stop. She needs a bathroom break, she's had enough, she wants a water break, whatever. I usually gauge those anyway. I can tell when she's getting ready to go to the bathroom. I can water her, which I do every mile, 2 miles, whatever the case may be. And I can also see if the tether is dropping back and she needs to rest. But naturally, I'm going to rest her no matter what, at least every mile or so, at least as we start out, 1 mile, 2 mile, then maybe rest her 4 miles, 6 miles, whatever. We're not going to go that far today. We're probably going to do about 3 miles because I'm still going to try to keep her fresh for this evening. So one final thing, you see her tongue hanging over the side. That's the closest thing some people say to a dog smile, and she's doing it right there. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. She's having the time of her life. And I know we addressed this in recent Facebook posts, but sometimes I get negative feedback like it's cruel what I'm doing with the dogs. And I just want to let everybody know that animals are a major part of my life. And cruelty is the furthest thing you'll find from me. In fact, you know, obviously, like I'm sure all of you animal lovers out there, we don't want any cruelty. God forbid. I mean, you know, I do anything to stop animal cruelty. This breed and other working breeds are meant to do a job, and they need a purpose. If they don't get a purpose, they become very problematic. They're hard to just keep as regular other dogs you would keep that are more cuddle bugs. Not that Huskies can't be cuddle bugs, but that are more couch potato types, if you will. Maybe a game of frisbee a dog will have, or a quick catch, a game of fetch, whatever. Huskies aren't like that. They might do fetch. You might find some that do. Some of mine along the way have done it, but it only lasts for a couple throws, and they get bored with it real quick because they're very prey driven and they're very determined and independent. So they get this idea of chasing the ball, and they're like, I'm done with that. So pretty quickly, and it won't burn any energy off a husky. Now, when you're talking older huskies, you might be able to get a little energy or a little movement out of them. I tried to do that with my gal Princess, who recently passed away at the age of 15. But most of the husky breed, especially at the ages they are with me now, they need constant exercise. And it's said that they need at least 2 hours of activity today. You know, a husky in the right condition, with the right weather conditions, could do 50 to 100 miles a day. Their metabolism is controlled by themselves, by, of course, subconsciously, but it's a totally different structure than a human's metabolism. In fact, as I understand, it's not fully understood by science. They just know they don't burn their fat stores like a human does for energy. She's digging. So some dogs will eat. There's minerals in the ground, and that's actually healthy for them. This is pretty fresh, or pretty undisturbed ground, I should say. So there wouldn't be any contaminants that I would be concerned about. If you don't give the husky that outlet, the husky's gonna do things like find ways out of their confinement area when they're in their yard, whatever, and they'll get away. They'll run the neighborhood. Something bad could happen to them, God forbid, whatever. So I'm always letting my husky explore their instincts, what they were bred to do. We do a few activities with them, and when I say we, of course they're my dogs, but my team assists me. I do have a team. I got a recent question on that. Well, why do you always bring someone with you on your dog trips? And people don't realize that I'll travel over 500 miles for a dog trip, so I need a team. I can't drive the truck, the dog limousine as I call it, and the dog bike, and also take into consideration all the obstacles we could run into, a trail that I've never been on, etc. But more on that in my book. Keep your eyes peeled for that. So this is not cruel in any way. In fact, really, it would be cruel to limit them from getting the exercise they need and being pent up in pretty much confined spaces. They need to roam, they need to run, they need to exercise, and I provide that all to them very creatively. Again, I do activities like free ranging, off-leash running, roaming. I rent some farms where they're able to do that. We do something called Amazing Chase, which is activity like lure coursing. I don't know if you know what lure coursing is, but it's very cool. It's designed for greyhounds, for sighthounds, I should say, any of the sighthound breeds, like greyhounds, etc., that can run over 40 miles per hour. So that's interesting. So it's kind of like a prey-driven chase game, if you will, activity, and some huskies will take to it, some breeds take to it, some don't. It's just based on the individual personality of the dog. The sighthound breed takes to it because it's all sight driven, it's not scent driven, and that's how sighthounds are, that's how they prey. They prey with their eyes because they have really keen vision, so they can see this lure, they call it, that will run a course all the way around. It could be, you know, a 5-acre course, and they can spot it or keep track of it all the way around, where the husky and other breeds lose sight of it and it doesn't have a scent. So, but some of my huskies love doing it, some don't care about it. It's another activity we do, and of course running with bikes, scooters, etc. So this is my job, and I love my job, keeping my dogs entertained and keeping them in the best physical and psychological health possible. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this, and we're going to get some more mileage in right now. Okay, everybody, that was quick. 1.91 miles. So we went about a mile in a matter of minutes because Lola here was flying. I was able to peak at my speedometer and we were over 14 miles per hour. I mean, she is rolling. She is loving this, and it's just such a fantastic way to cater and work a Husky. They love it. I can't say it enough. Okay, 3.10 miles is our final today, folks, because we're planning on doing an evening run as of now. So that will suffice. I've got to admit, we hit our highest speed ever that I've ever gone on this scooter with the dog, 19.5. This dog is ready to roll. Lola, we're going to cool down right now.